to this coaching video, I am going to pull up a couple of kingdoms that have been sent to me as interesting things to look at, and you will see my live reactions here. That's the game ID. Load game. Click ready. Okay, so very quickly we have Shepherd here as our primary draw. It looks like Distant Shore is actually quite good with Shepherd. There's some village support for getting. There's quite a bit of village support for getting bridge, so that seems like a thing you can do. I think you want some old maps because old map should play really nicely with Shepherd in theory. Seaway on Shepherd, Seaway on old map, or even Voyage makes sense. I don't know that Voyage. I know that you want to play with Voyage here. Voyage Wine Merchant is kind of interesting. Like you get all your wine merchants out, and then you don't pay to get them back, and then you just play 2 bazaars or something and end your turn. But I don't know how you draw all of that. So let's call this one Sheep to the Shore. So my initial thought is to open old map Shepherd. Am I ever thinning coppers? Maybe. If I hit a 3 at some point and there's no... So the first time you draw Develop, it's an extra stop card, and you have to take out 1 coin from your deck plus 1 coin that you would have drawn. So like imagine you're drawing 2 coppers, instead you're drawing copper, developing copper. So you're losing 2 coins the first time you play it. Then your deck is neutral and you're losing 1 coin the second time you play it. And then the third time you're playing it, it's break even. Well, the third time you're playing it, it's a free draw. And you're breaking even. So you basically need to play it 3 times to get it to be worthwhile. And often like the game in a developing coppers game, the game just doesn't last that long. So I think my plan is to play old map Shepherd, get a bridge, maybe hit 5 at some point and Seaway, old map, or Shepherd. I can grab Sunken Treasure. Sunken Treasure seem okay because, yeah, I mean, Sunken Treasure can grab Bazaar, Hamlet, Develop. There's enough pieces for it to grab. That's maybe situational. We don't want to play with at least 2 Shepherds. Something you can do with Inn that is possible is, you can also do it with Hamlet, is draw deck with Shepherd and then Hamlet or Inn put a Shepherd into the discard pile and then draw 1 card off the top. So like, yeah, play Inn to discard Shepherd Estate into the discard pile or Shepherd Copper or something. Play Hamlet to draw 1. If you draw the Shepherd, you then have to play the Shepherd to clear out the shuffle. If you don't, then you can have a Shepherd in your top deck. So that's a trick we can look to be doing here. Okay, so this is 3. I think second old map is going to be worth more. Wow. And I will take second Shepherd here. This is like the really dicey part with this draw. Guess I try to give up a copper. And I will take a third old map. So that was just a very unlucky draw, but not the end of the world. I will start to rotate here. I can even take a Sunken Treasure this turn. Which I will do. I could have actually taken a Distant Shore, but I think that's a bad shuffle to trigger. I guess we discard 1 copper. And just really hope to hit a Shepherd. Okay. I think I do it this way. 2. Okay, I bottom decked a Shepherd, which is not terrible. So I can grab a Bazaar now. Conclave, Hamlet, Develop. Those are all the things I'm looking at doing. Bazaar doesn't do very much. Inn perhaps does the most. And then Seaway Shepherd is maybe my thought. 3 Shepherds is too much for the number of green cards I have, but So maybe I don't want a Seaway. I could buy an inn and a bridge. Um, Again, the inn sifting is weird because I've gotten hoping to not bottom deck my shepherds like I did. So the old maps, if the old maps discard all my coppers and I'm just left with estates, I'm very sad. But I think I will take the inn now, and I think it's just gonna be better to not shuffle it in and buy a bridge as well. I will rotate here. They are doing construction directly outside of my house this morning. Okay, so I'm not gonna trigger this shuffle ever. Don't rotate. So this is kind of remarkable. 2 shuffles in a row, I have absolute bottom decked a shepherd. Okay. Oh, I can Seaway. I don't know if I have money. I can Seaway like something that costs 5 though. I'm gonna take this distant shore then, and I consider taking another inn to get into the shuffle. This is just going a lot slower than I want on turn 8, but I had some pretty bad draws. Inn gets the distant shore into the shuffle, which seems okay. I want to get more bridges, more stuff, but I think third shepherd now is still a little bit aggressive. I could go shepherd estate maybe. This is tricky. I'm gonna go shepherd estate. I feel like the existence of the distant shore makes this viable. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to gain the extra estate there. Okay, this gets me clean to the end of the shuffle, if I want it to. So my discard pile has 5 estates in it. So I can play this old map. Sorry, it has how many cards in it? 2 estates, 3 estates, and pasture. So this does... Wait, I miscounted my coppers. I discarded coppers within. Okay, so this was a bad shuffle. This is okay. So what do I want to buy here? I want to buy a distant shore probably. And I can maybe take the develop now. Do I need to develop? I'm kind of just looking for things that draw cards. So take a Bazaar, distant shore, and I may have triggered a bad shuffle here by not tracking my deck very well. But here we go. All right, I gained 2 estates with the distant shore. So I've got 6 cards in my discard pile right now. I think I am still willing to trigger this shuffle here. Okay. And shepherd gets me almost to the end. I just have too many cards in my discard pile to trigger this. I have 5 coppers, so... Yeah, I'm running out of unique actions to gain, but that's okay. And we're adding more estates. I'm going to gain a hamlet, a Seaway, a shepherd. Buy another hamlet. Discard this hamlet. This was not great. Put a shepherd down there in the discard pile. The nice thing about having all these coppers is, in theory, I should have plenty of cards to discard with the shepherd. Okay, but I'm just having some awkward buys. Some awkward draws. I drew all my shepherds at the top of that shuffle, sadly. Notably, I have the distant shores and all these extra estates, so like I'm doing fine in the long run. I'm like, I can take shepherd, estate here, and be fairly comfortable that I'll be able to draw most turns, even if I can't do the setup. I'm not going to discard for plus buy there. Shepherd discarding... Well, I guess I didn't need to buy those estates because I was going to gain them anyways. Okay, so in here I can draw... I'm drawing 9 cards here. With these shepherds. So I can like discard for action, discard for buy, and then draw everything. Except for 1. And I can grab a develop if I want. I can grab like a wine merchant, it's just another card. I'm almost to the point where I don't need this sunken treasure anymore because it's not doing that much for me. Took a develop. And then Distant Shore seems good. And another Shepherd seems good given the number of green cards that I have. And we hope to draw. We really hope to hit 3 cards a lot of the time. Alright, we didn't draw a lot of stuff, so we can grab another inn, and it seems like a good card to put into the deck. Just another Distant Shore. It's a lab at this point. I do need to grab a... I'm going to discard 3 here. Just to make sure I have enough stuff to discard. Put it in the discard pile. And we should be able to churn through the rest of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so now I'm out of ways to discard the Shepherd and trigger a shuffle, sadly. I believe. Yeah. But this is fine. I think I'm going to... Well, the sunken treasure costs 4. It's an odd price point. It would just be a gold and a bridge, which I guess is fine. And I may even have a pile out here on something or other. 2 shepherds cost 2. 8 hamlets and 2 shepherds. Something like that. That's a pile out. So, yeah, that's sort of... And obviously your opponent's going to contest these piles if you're not playing against the Lord Raddington robot. So the game's going to progress a little bit differently. I had a very, very bad first shuffle, seeing Shepherd and 4 coppers, even after playing the old map. So I think possibly the early develop would pay off, and perhaps I will try that line momentarily. We resume. I've reloaded the kingdom from scratch just so we get a different seed, because the previous one, the develop... or the Shepherd hits 0 estates. So we're going to try Shepherd develop this time just to see if it pays off. Okay. We can go 2 cards or 4 cards here. It's important to note we saw 2 estates and 2 coppers last turn. So these are 2 coppers down here. So we can somewhat reliably know that these are 2 coppers. And then I think I want to Seaway this old map. I want to add the old map to the deck. And obviously this is a very nice draw. I want to rotate already. I think I hit 6 this turn and can buy 2 old maps. Okay, well I hit 4. Yeah, I'm losing money because of the developing coppers. So that is something to watch out for with this strategy. Maybe take a bridge, take another Shepherd. I'm going to undo this just for educational purposes. And we will rotate this, because our idea is to get to 5 and the sunken treasure fairly soon. So even though we've been thinning coppers, we can. I didn't rotate. I always forget to rotate, to go all the way back. And in a game, this would not be acceptable. You just have to play a little bit slower. And here I see that I have 4, and I really want to get the Sunken Treasure, so I can pass up a trash. Or I can, like, thin a copper, buy a silver. I think I really want to add the Sunken Treasure. It's just the best card for my deck. And I'm sort of committing to not having money this game, but we'll rotate that. We can grab a Hamlet, and then we can, undo. We did something wrong. Undo. Grab a Distant Shore and a Hamlet. Okay, this is a decent starting hand. And this gets me all the way to the end of the shuffle. This is 4 or 3. I think I might actually take a silver here, take a silver and a bridge. Just to give me a little bit more money going into this next hand. The Distant Shore is going to do some work. And I'm out of Shepherds this draw, so... Okay. So, I want to get a Shepherd this turn. I can't get, like, a Shepherd and a Hamlet this turn. The order on the Sunken Treasure is awkward. I'd like to gain the inn first. I'm getting the inn last here. Maybe I can get a Bazaar and a Shepherd. And another... I can even get another Develop, and Develop develops a Develop into Shepherd Estate on top of the deck. Loophole. Gain a card, gain 2 cards onto your deck. So that is something that we need to pay attention to pretty strongly. Okay. That did not go well. Sometimes that happens with Shepherd games. This is why I said we want to try to do tricks to top deck stuff. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we just developed the Develop here into Shepherd Estate. And Sunken Treasure gains us a inn, I suppose. And we can top deck like the inn and the Bazaar. And so now... we could have considered even buying another Sunken Treasure, I suppose. Or saying buying another Develop. So this is the turn. If we do this... So in those 9 cards, and I did not correctly count my deck, unfortunately. In those 9 cards, we have a bunch of green cards. And because I played a bridge, I get a free estate here. To the top, which is slightly scary. But yeah, this seems to be a little bit faster than the other line. I think. What unique card do I want? Take a Merchant. And I'll just take a Distant Shore and hope I don't bottom deck the... Oops. Yep, I did this to myself. It is okay, but, you know, I'm hoping at this point I'm far enough ahead of my opponent, who in this case is just going for provinces, so that is definitely true. Okay, so let us now look at this. So if I Shepherd 4 estates here, I now have 4 estates in my discard pile. So if in, I just say discard for buy. I can also develop this silver into a Shepherd to top deck it. So yes, let's go back and look at that line. Okay. So put bridge, wine merchant, and we develop silver into Shepherd. Hamlet on top of the deck. We can probably happily take a Conclave. And Distant Shore Bridge, I think. Seems fine. We're just building now. I'm happy to have these estates in the shuffle. Somewhat weirdly with Shepherd decks. Okay. This did not go well. We didn't find any of our other Shepherds. So we can just grab another Bazaar and maybe one more Shepherd then. And our opponent really does not have any pile pressure on us because they don't have the plus buys that we have. 2, 3. Shore. Okay, so this is drawing. So we have 5 cards in the discard pile. Now it can help to just count out how many things we have where. I don't really want to discard anything other than estates here. Do we have a 3 cost we can develop into a Shepherd? We can develop this into a Shepherd as well if we want. Okay, so the discard pile is 6 stop cards. So those bottom 5 cards are all estates. We don't necessarily need to play anything else here. I guess we want to... There's a couple different ways we can do this. We can draw 2 cards, and then we can draw 2 cards and then have Shepherd 3 estates on top. I like the idea of Shepherd 4 estates and triggering the reshuffle. So what I'm going to do here is draw 1. You can discard for buy. We're going to develop the inn into Shepherd Gold. We draw the gold. So now the discard pile is basically 4 estates and Shepherd. Just take the buy. Click this. Actions. Maybe we don't need to play that. We can also trash this Sunken Treasure, I suppose. I'm pretty sure I have every unique card in play except for, I guess I can take another Spice Merchant. Old maps seem better than nothing here. I can just take all of those and maybe take a bridge. Take 2 bridges. And my opponent doesn't have any gains, so like the hamlets are fine. We're pretty much just discarding anything that doesn't say plus card on it with these and here discard the bridge for action. Just trying to find some estates to get the hand size going. No need to rotate, I don't think. I think I have enough actions now. I do need to track somewhat how many actions I have in the deck, so I've noted how many hamlets I need to discard for. Okay, so this is going to be a pretty easy 3 pile then for me. At this stage, this draws most of the rest of the deck. Discard for action. Buy. And I did leave the Wine Merchant on the Tavern mat last turn. Action. Buy. Bridge. Wine Merchant. Develop Shepherd into Duchy, say. And then I can buy out 3 provinces even. A bunch of duchies. And some of you, and some of you, and some of you. So, transition in the end to a bridge megaturn. As we see, the bot had gotten 5 provinces and 2 duchies, but the estates are worth 2 for me, and the distant shores are worth 2. So that's 30 points right there in just estates, distant shores. Compared to my opponent only had 3 points in those piles, which is basically 4.5 provinces worth. Again, this was a bit slow against a human player. I'm not quite sure if the developed strategy pays off. I think the other player might get 3-1 distant shore split potentially, which I would worry about. I also had some really awkward draws here. At least one of them was self-caused, and I lost a full turn. And the developed tricks seem actually... Yeah, I guess in retrospect, the develop trick. So getting some silvers earlier, and if you collide silver with develop, doing the develop silver into shepherd estate trick can work out. It was a bit of a tricky kingdom, so hopefully, um, hopefully people have found this interesting and helpful as to how to play it.